Welcome to all viewers of La Chaîne Géopolitique. So since last week we have changed the format of our presentation. So now we are presenting topics through the screen. So if you have any suggestion about the topic, the format, please let me know your feedback in the comment below the video. And if you like my video, do feel free to subscribe to this channel. In that way you could receive the latest notification. And if you like, you just click you like, I will really appreciate it. So today we will talk about the latest tension flare-up between Popular Republic of China and Taiwan. So it's not new tension between both entities, but over the last days the tension have never been so high since decades. So that's why I decided that it's relevant to talk about it today. Why suddenly there is such a flare-up? So as you see, nearly 150 Chinese warplanes have entered into the Taiwanese air defense identification zone, that also known as ADIZ. We will define this term just after this slide. So 100 in just 4 days. Just to give you just some background, just last year in 2020 it was already a record when 380 Chinese warplanes entered into the Taiwanese defense zone, while in 2021, which we has not yet completed this year, we are only in October at the time of this video. So between January and October 2020 we already exceeded 600 incursion entry into the Taiwanese defense zone just for this year. So we surpassed twice the previous record of last year. So it shows that the military, the Chinese feel really less and less scared about penetrating, entering into the Taiwanese air defense. And not only they increase the number of incursions, but also they use more and more, let's say, threatening, sophisticated warplanes like the Xi'an, with a nuclear capacity, which is the heaviest bomber, to the best of my knowledge. Also, it was used last week, the Shenyang, which is the plane used to detect a radar. So that's the daily count made by the Ministry of Defense of Taiwan for each day last week or 2 weeks ago. So you can see in just 4 days you can count, it makes 150 incursion into the Taiwanese defense zone. So what is interesting now to at this stage, it's interesting to define the term Air Defense Identification Zone, also known by the acronym ADIZ. What it is? So the air defense zone is different from airspace because it includes not only the airspace, but it could include also the sea space, and it is the zone where an airplane is supposed to identify to the authorities for the interest of the national security of the country. So here we enter into the core of the topic, because the issue it's like that the Taiwanese defense zone does not only cover most part of the Taiwanese territory, which would be logical, but it does include also the Taiwanese Strait, but more surprisingly, it includes also the Chinese province of Fujian, Zhejiang, and Jiangxi, as well as the East China Sea and adjacent airspace. So you understand that here it creates some troubles or some headache for the Chinese authorities, because how come the Taiwanese defense airspace includes also the mainland territory of Popular Republic of China? So in other words, to be just clear, so we have an overlap between the air defense zone of the Popular Republic of China and of Taiwan. So here, that's why there is a real risk of war, because as you see in this map, I hope you see properly, as you see, the orange square is at the air defense zone of Taiwan, and here is in China, you can see that it overlaps the air defense zone of Taiwan. So basically, saying in another way, the mainland of China, those three provinces of Fujian, Shaanxi, and Zhejiang, overlaps, covers both ADIZ, both air defense of China and Taiwan in this. So you can easily imagine that it creates a legal headache and with a risk of air collision, accident, incidents. So that's why it worth questioning why Taiwan has such a large airspace zone. So that's why it's important at this stage to make some history. So we will, I will show you in a few seconds why, how come we arrived to such a situation. I'm sorry for this small. So I will. So why such large air defense zone, which does include China? Here is the answer. Due to the history, if you like, of it, the air defense zone, the ADIZ, of Taiwan, was created and designed by the United States Armed Forces after World War II, due to the fact that between 1949 and 1979, the United States of America recognized only the Republic of China, Taiwan, because at that time, if you remember, so the Communist Party on October 1949 seized power in mainland China, and the opposition, I mean the party that was in power, the Kuomintang, so flew to Taiwan. And so that's why United States recognize only Taiwan, but things change. In 1979, at that time the foreign minister was it was under the Carter administration. So at that time, so United States decided to recognize diplomatically the Popular Republic of China. And their diplomatic relationship with Taiwan. But here is a paradox of the situation, meaning that despite that the United States of America recognize diplomatically only the Popular Republic of China, the United States at the same time only bring as a duty to bring military, is bound to bring military support to Taiwan under the Taiwan Relation Act of April 1979. So at the same time that the US recognized, change diplomatic relationship, broke off relationship with Taiwan for the benefit of Popular Republic of China, at the same time it supports militarily Taiwan. So you understand, so US distinguish what it is the scope of diplomatic relationship, what is the scope of military help, and that's why here is, if you like, the balance, the golden mean of the foreign policy in the region of US, to recognize China but to support militarily Taiwan. And that's and suddenly, so let's say this balance that I just talked, if you like, worked quite well during years, during decades, and suddenly since last year, as I said, there were more than 380 incursions last year, and this year already 600. So why suddenly there is such a flare-up, such a rise of tension between China and Taiwan? While the Chinese authorities adopted a pragmatic stance towards Taiwan, and in a certain way, also Taiwan tried to adopt a pragmatic stance by not declaring independence. So let's understand why suddenly there is such rising tension. So first of all, we have to be aware that more and more warships goes through the Taiwanese Strait, and the latest one was British warship in end of September. But more earlier we had Canadian, French, Australian warship which went through the Taiwanese Strait, and which is really, let's say, bothering, to say diplomatically, the Chinese authorities, which want to stop such free navigation, free passage of warship. And that could explain also this, partly at least, this flare-up. Another explanation is that some countries now are opening a Taiwanese representative office. It sounds much more, let's say, attractive or beneficial to open such type of representative office. So, for example, a country like Lithuania has recently opened such a liaison office. How come? How we can explain it? So, Taiwan is one of the only country in the world who is able to produce those chips, those conductors, which is in dire shortage, especially in the automotive industry and also in the phone industry, computer industry. So what I mean, right now it's much more, we can find much more, let's say, benefits having a diplomatic relationship or at least commercial relationship with Taiwan than previously. That's why some countries are interested in doing it, like Lithuania, the United States. For example, even you have in some US cities like Houston such a representative office, and it is clearly it is not in the taste of the Chinese authorities that more and more countries could open such a representative office, because despite that it is not a proper embassy, it is kind of, let's say, informal embassy, let's be clear. And that's why the Chinese authorities are trying desperately to reduce the number of countries who have diplomatic relationship. It has been successful during years. Still, the 2019 decreased dramatically the number of countries in the world which had diplomatic relationship with Taiwan. It decreased from 25 just 5 years ago to only 15 in 2021. So it's more and more difficult. It has been for Taiwan to keep relationship with countries, but probably the tide is things are changing, and now some countries would like to strengthen their commercial relationship with Taiwan, and that's why perhaps China tried to intimidate those countries to do it. For example, China has recalled his ambassador in Lithuania after opening in Vilnius such a representative, Taiwanese representative office, just to intimidate Lithuania that China can take a retaliation action against that. And so clearly it could expand those tension. A last explanation, and which is not the least one, it's the creation of the new trilateral pact, military pact called AUKUS, which is the acronym of Australia, United Kingdom, United States, which has been set up in mid-September, and which is clearly intends to contain the Chinese military power, and clearly China feels threatened by this new military pact, and perhaps also that could explain that now China is retaliating against Taiwan by following the creation of this new military pact, by using a new sophisticated by sending even bombers, the heaviest bomber like the Xi'an. And by the way, we have in the next video a specialist, a military specialist, who will talk more about all those military equipment that China is using. And actually, it's also worth mentioning that today the British newspaper Financial Times has exclusively revealed that China carried out a hypersonic missile launch in August to the while the rest of the world ignore it, and we just learned that this morning, which has caught totally by surprise the US intelligence, which didn't know that China has such a capacity in terms of hypersonic missiles. So it will be extremely interesting and fascinating and intriguing to see the US reaction over the next hours and days, how US will react to it, because such news clearly could undermine the US military hegemony. China, if this information is confirmed, is now entering into this very close club of countries which are able to develop such hypersonic missile. There are only two other countries which is able to do it, Russia and the United States, and clearly it shows that actually China, like Russia, is really investing a lot of engineers and time and money to develop the most sophisticated military equipment, and really we will follow the US reaction. And as I said, the next video we will have a discussion with a military expert to really understand what exactly are the military objective, and to detail all military equipment that China is using right now. Thank you for your attention in this video, and please leave me your comments, and please, if you like this video, please don't hesitate to click on your like and to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.